Now that we've done a path, let's try a shape. So I'm just going to drag over to the circle, which is next to that S curve on my document. And I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so I can see the whole circle. Drawing a shape works exactly the same as drawing an open path. The only difference happens when I'm finished. So let's see how that works. Start off by doing a diamond shape here. And that means just single click because I want to create what are called corner points. So when there's no curve, Illustrator creates a corner point, and that's a single click. A diamond has 4 corner points. When I position my pen over the beginning of the path, notice what happens to my cursor. It gets a shape, the bottom right corner of it. That's Illustrator's way of telling me when I click, it's going to close the path. So if I hold down my Command or Control key, Command on the Mac, Control on the PC, I can toggle to my selection tool and I can move that out of the way. So I have a closed shape and I can put a fill in it. So let me delete that because the circle is a series of curve points. So when I see these handles on the template, I have to click, hold, and drag. And I'll hold down my Shift key to constrain those handles so they're perfectly aligned and they're perfectly at 90-degree angles. Release my mouse, move to the next one, and you can see Illustrator's already giving me a preview of the curve. Now I could add more than 4 points to the circle. I really don't have to though. And the fewer points I use, the smoother that my curve is going to be. So that's why I set it up so you can trace it in 4 points. So click, hold, Shift, drag. And you'll notice that it's filling with my cyan swatch. Now I can go to my swatches panel and I can change that to none. Close my swatches panel and I don't actually have to go back and reselect the pen tool. So that comes in handy because sometimes the fill will make it difficult to see where you want to click. It's sometimes better to not add the fill to the shape until you're done. So click, hold, Shift, drag. I've now got a semicircle. I could hit my Escape key and stop here, but of course I don't want to. Click, Shift, hold, and drag. So it doesn't matter really when I hold down the Shift key in the process. And now when I get up to the top, you'll notice that the curve isn't correct, but when it finds the open endpoint, Illustrator is ready for me to close the shape. I'll just click, hold, don't release my mouse. Well, I just need to rotate that handle around so the curves are going in the right direction. This is really what it's going to take some getting used to. In time, you'll develop a knowledge of how far you should drag out your handles and in which direction. For now, just take it very slowly. And I'm going to release my mouse and there's my circle. So I'll go back to my swatches and I'll add my cyan fill and there you go. So let me fit this whole page to my window. Command 0, Control 0. And I want to do this parachute or ice cream cone shape. So let me zoom in on just that. And I'll reposition my page. This has what is called a combination point. So I've got both a corner point and a curve point and they're meeting. Let me start down here with the bottom. So I'll single click and I'll come up here and I'll single click. And now I'll move over to the top. That's a click, hold, and a drag. Notice that it's only changing the curve on one side of that second corner point. So that handle on the left is the one that's creating the curve. You can see as I rotate it around the point. So hold down Shift again to constrain it. And here's that fill. Continue, single click. So go back to the endpoint. Illustrator closes it when I click. So I don't even have to drag anymore because that's a corner point. Any of these points can be edited using the direct selection tool, my white arrow. If I click on them and move them around, I will change the shape. And if I click on the ones that have handles, the curve points, I can move the handles and I can change the shape that way. So just as if I had drawn a circle with the ellipse tool, I can edit that shape with my direct selection tool.